Hello everyone, I'd like to talk to you today about Cisco's portfolio strategy. As the fog and the mist starts to clear post-pandemic, I'd like to share with you today how Cisco can be the bridge to possible for all of our customers on their journey to digital acceleration and IT transformation in this new decade that we're in. There is no doubt that every organization has seen uncertain times over the last year or two. There is no doubt that people's behavior has changed forever in ways that were unimaginable before. There's also no doubt that organizations who thought it would maybe take them years to transform digitally have transformed in months and sometimes even in weeks and days. And organizations are not stopping their transformation. They're continuing to accelerate their transformation around technology and IT. And they're also beginning to think about what matters for their employees. Employees are needing to be given more choice in terms of where they want to do their jobs or operate from as we move forward. We're also seeing that governments have successfully legislated and met all during this pandemic in this time frame. What is becoming a reality to all of us is what can be delivered digitally, fundamentally must be delivered digitally if organizations are going to thrive in this new decade. Indeed, even if organizations are going to survive in this new decade, they need to think differently. What are our customers telling us as they think about this transformation? Well, at the heart of this transformation is every customer is thinking about cloud. Cloud is giving customers the flexibility and the agility to drive transformation. What I would like to do for you today is do two things. First of all, I'd like to show how Cisco's portfolio strategy is going to help every single one of our customers navigate their journey to cloud more effectively. But secondly, I'd like to show everybody the importance of the user experience as we start to move more and more of our workloads to cloud. This will become critical for every organization in this new decade. And during the presentation, I'm going to show how Cisco will help solve both of those challenges. What are we hearing from our customers? Well, we're hearing from our customers that the application is the business now. The application is more critical than ever, and every organization needs to think about how they reimagine their applications, because their applications are the way they're going to interact with their employees and the way they're going to interact with their customers. More and more applications will be created to help that interaction with employees and that interaction with customers. Secondly, our customers are saying to us they need to think about how they don't just connect their employees, but how they empower their teams and their people to be effective in this new world that we're operating within. Every organization is recognizing that more and more of their employees will spend more and more time working from home and choosing to work in a hybrid environment, sometimes in the office, sometimes at home. And that means that every meeting we conduct will probably be operating in a hybrid world, not just physical meetings in the office as we move forward. And to be able to deal with all of this change, we are going to have to transform our infrastructure. It's not just because people are going to connect from different locations. It's the fact that people are going to be using more and more different types of devices to connect. And then we're also going to see IoT devices connect to these environments as well. 29 billion devices connected to the internet by 2023. That's 4 devices per person. That is driving complexity into our IT infrastructure, hence the need to transform as we move forward. And as all of these things and people are connected to the network, we begin to realize that the enterprise is no longer a physical place. We're also beginning to realize that the enterprise is no longer a logical place either. The enterprise is everywhere, and that means we need to try and secure everywhere for our employees as they move forward. And that's why we're seeing all of our customers continue to increase their investment in cybersecurity as they move forward. So the narrative is changing for all of our customers. Our customers are thinking about how they reimagine their applications, empower their teams, transform their infrastructure, and secure their enterprise. But they're also thinking about how they achieve all of this with limited and scarce talent from an IT point of view. There is no doubt there is a war on talent today that we need to solve for. And organizations need to think about their technology strategy to coexist with the talent strategy that they have in their organizations too. But there's one thing that a lot of organizations have not put at the forefront of their strategy over the last year or 18 months. And Cisco's here to say that we believe fundamentally every organization needs to think more deeply about the user experience that every organization delivers to their users as we move forward. The user experience is the experience you deliver to your employee to make sure they're as productive as possible. The user experience is the experience you deliver to your customer to make sure they're as loyal as possible. And this isn't something that you need to think about in 12 months or 18 months or 2 years' time. This is something that you need to think about now, because the digital experience is here today. It's a reality. And if you get it wrong, it's very costly in today's world. Poor digital experience means half of your potential customer base will switch suppliers if you deliver a poor digital experience. But conversely, half of your customers will be prepared to pay more if you deliver a delightful digital experience. And what we call spinning wheel, or the delay in the application loading, is going to be critical to you delivering a delightful experience in the future. And you have to solve for that and build strategies for that today. So the application experience is going to be more critical than ever in this new decade. As I mentioned earlier on, this decade is about delivering customer delight. The last decade was about delivering customer satisfaction. Satisfaction is no longer good enough in today's world as we come out of the pandemic. And the challenge with delivering a strong or delightful user experience is the complexity that we're dealing with now potentially means that managing it is beyond human scale. And you have to think about how you're going to use technology, AI, machine learning, and other things to manage this complexity for you. That complexity is easily explained with a simple example. The simplest example is something many of us are no longer doing, which is flying. The check-in application changed the world for many of us to make it easy for us to check in for a flight. However, the basic check-in app relies on loads of different foundational services to make the application work the way it works today. For example, I want to choose and allocate my seat. Well, that isn't something natively built in the app. It's a seating system that sits in a data center or a cloud, probably in a different location to where the app is located. Secondly, I may want to upgrade my seat using either air miles or using my credit card. Again, both of those are legacy-based systems that probably sit either in a data center or in some different cloud. And it's being able to harness and bring all of these things together to operate seamlessly for you to have full end-to-end visibility that allows you to deliver the application experience of delight to your customer. And this is Cisco's value proposition. This is Cisco's differentiation to you in today's world. Because Cisco's unique value proposition in this cloud-based world that we operate in is to say two things to you. No matter where your workloads exist, no matter where your applications reside, Cisco can manage them consistently and agnostically in the same way, simply and easily being able to move workloads from one resource to another so that you can always optimize the application experience that you're delivering to the user. The second part of our differentiation is to say that no matter where your user is connecting from, we will provide full end-to-end visibility of that connection to make sure that we always optimize the user's experience. And Only Cisco can bring both of these two capabilities together. And as you bring those capabilities together, we solve that complexity that I mentioned in the previous slide, and we solve this mean time to innocence. You know, different parts of the organization all blaming each other for where the problem is. All these different parts of the organizations actually not having visibility of what the problem is in the first instance. And this is what Cisco can solve and will solve for our customers in this new decade. It's complex, however. It takes time to solve. You have to build strategy to be able to solve for it. And Cisco therefore breaks our strategy down into 5 key areas. The first area we call is around how you deliver the future of work strategy. This is about where are your employees going to be connecting from? Are they going to be working from home? Are they going to be in the office? How are you going to help them collaborate effectively? How are you going to make sure they get access to the right applications? We call this the future of work. Secondly, we say, how are you going to deliver this delightful application experience to the users? We think about how you get visibility of everything that's going on in your environment, how you take that visibility into understanding analytically the insights and the data that you're getting from it to allow you to then create an action to solve or to proactively prevent bad experience in the future. The third thing we look at is how we secure your environment. The fourth thing we then look at is how we modernize your environment to make sure that potentially it's software defined, if I'm allowed to use a buzzword, but that network infrastructure is agile, can be maintained easily, actually becomes more power efficient and becomes greener in a world where we're all thinking about carbon neutrality as we move forward. And finally, we think about how do you make sure that no matter where your resources sit in any cloud, that you can operate them consistently across all of your environments to help you manage, more efficiently and effectively all of your resources that sit in the cloud or in your data center. So those 5 areas we break down into these 5 key pillars: a continuity pillar and strategy that we would build with our customers, an insights pillar built around visibility, insight, and action, a security pillar to make sure that we make sure you're fully secure in terms of how you connect all of your users to applications, a connectivity pillar to make sure that people are effectively connecting from wherever to any application, wherever that may reside, and we do it efficiently. We do it with carbon neutrality in mind. And finally, we think about how we operate across all of the different clouds and workloads that you're operating within. Now, I mentioned earlier on that Cisco is agnostic in this world, and what this slide here tries to prove to you is we fundamentally are agnostic. In terms of no matter where you host your applications and workloads, Cisco across all of these 5 pillars can agnostically and consistently operate with any of the hyperscalers, with any SaaS provider, and indeed any private data center or cloud that you're building out. And for the connectivity layers here, we're also agnostic. No matter where you want to connect from, remotely, branch, campus, or indeed via a colo provider, again, Cisco is agnostic and can operate across all of your environment. So we're agnostic, we're consistent, and we can operate and help you build a strategy to allow you to navigate to this cloud environment that you want to operate in, while at the same time maintaining the user experience that is critical for your users in this new decade as we move forward. So what I'd like to do now is just double click on each of these 5 pillars, just one slide, just to give you a view of the technology foundations that Cisco is building to help you navigate this new world that we're operating in today. The first pillar, I'll start from the bottom, is the operate pillar. The operate pillar at Cisco is built on a cloud platform called Intersite. Now, we can also deploy it on-prem for those customers who don't want to deploy in the cloud, but strategically, Cisco's investing in a cloud orchestration engine that will allow you to manage your data center infrastructure products today, but it will also allow you to manage across your cloud environments, across your workloads and your virtualized services, so that we can move and operate efficiently workloads between cloud and private environments to make sure that you're constantly optimizing the utilization of your available resources. But on top of that, we're also appealing to the application developers in terms of developing Kubernetes services so that from a container point of view, we can easily drop these applications and resources onto the network with performance guaranteed, with security guaranteed, in an automated manner moving forward, making sure that the network is not the barrier to the developer world that's existing in all of your organizations today. Secondly, we have to connect the users to the application. And more of that is being done at the edge of your environments. And Cisco has very successfully built out a software-defined WAN, SD-WAN capabilities with both Viptela and Meraki over the last few years. But now we're also creating security at the edge as well. And we're embedding some of our cloud security capabilities, Umbrella SIG, into our SD-WAN offers to create a secure access service edge, or SASE as the market calls it today. We're also making sure that as we deliver or we move applications from private data center into your cloud environments, that we maintain security and policy across those environments with our cloud ACI capabilities too. Thirdly, we're building out from a security point of view another cloud orchestration capability, this time to bring together all of Cisco's security products into one place to harness the availability of data. If we bring all of the data together from our security products, what we can start to do is interrogate that data. We can look for trends and changes in behavior. And as we start to see changes in behavior in terms of how our products are operating, we can potentially start to understand if there is a security risk. And we can start to mitigate based on future behavior and start to be preventative in terms of how we protect your environment, both your workplace, your workforce, and indeed your application and your workload as we move forward. So by building SecureX, this cloud-based platform, we start to recognize that we can secure more effectively your enterprise environment, even if your enterprise environment is everywhere. Fourthly, and one of the biggest investment areas Cisco has made over the last number of years is around insights and assurance. Now, everybody in the market talks about insights and assurance. And I'm Scottish, and Scottish people are renowned for not wanting to spend money. We're very tight with our wallets. We don't like to give money away. But I'm going to talk about money just for a second. Over the last 3 years, Cisco has spent over $8 billion in capability around visibility and insight. We've acquired organizations like AppD, Thousand Eyes, Landcope, Cognitive Networks. We've also built internally products to help us better analyze behavior in our networks, like Network Assurance Engine, for example. My competitors in the market space have spent combined somewhere between $2 to $3 billion in this space from what we can ascertain. $8 billion versus $2 to $3 billion for the whole market. I'm not saying the more you spend, the better you are, but what I am saying is look at Cisco's intent here. Cisco's intent is to make sure that you have real-time availability, access, and insight to what is going on in your environment so that you can prevent and predict any potential issues in your network. You can assign resource effectively to make sure that you always optimize your environments and that you have full end-to-end visibility from application through application infrastructure through into the internet. And there's only one company on the planet that can do all of that. And you're starting to see us integrate these products together now. Because the beauty comes when we take AppDynamics and Thousand Eyes and we integrate their data lakes together. When we integrate AppDynamics and Intersight together and we integrate their data lakes together, as we integrate that together, that data gives us a power of wealth, information, and visibility that makes sure that we will always optimize the application experience for your user. Our final pillar's around really continuity and how we adapt in this new world that we're operating in. We're looking really at two areas. One area is around your workforce. You've all done a fantastic job of providing connectivity to your users to allow them to operate from home. But now what we have to do is really work on the experience beyond connectivity for your users, to make an immersive experience, to make sure that when they're operating from home, it feels just like they're operating from the office. And at the same time, you also have to now not just think about providing connectivity and experience, you have to think about their well-being. As you leave employees at home, more and more importance will be on you as an employer to think about the well-being of your employee. And technology is going to play a big part. Technology and sensors are going to play a big part in making sure that you look after the well-being of your employees as they operate from home or remotely moving forward. Cisco's investing heavily in embedding sensor technology into our collaboration portfolio, for example. Secondly, we're going to think about the workplace, and we're going to think about it in two ways. One, make sure it's safe and trusted for your employees to return to the office. But secondly, make sure that that workplace is as green and sustainable as possible to help your organization meet its carbon footprint, strategies and targets that you're laying out for the remainder of, the next half century or so. One of the biggest consumers of energy is your IT infrastructure, is your lighting infrastructure, is your heating and ventilation infrastructure. And Cisco's building innovative technology to help you reduce the carbon footprint of your buildings by around 30% as we move forward. And so thinking about your workplace both as a safe place but a green place will be critical as you build out your strategy for the future. So Cisco has 5 key pillars that we want to help you build out as an organization to in turn help you solve the challenges that you're telling us are important for you today. We want to help you reimagine your business applications so that your employees are productive and your customers are loyal. We want to help you empower your teams to help them be more productive, to help them enjoy the experience of working for wherever they want to work from, and also thinking about their well-being moving forward. We want to help you transform your infrastructure so that your networks are more agile, can operate more efficiently, and can become more green. And we also want to make sure that everything you do, no matter where people connect from, is secure. But at the heart of all of that, there is a bridge around experience, because if you solve all of those without making sure you solve the user experience challenge, both for your employee or your customer, you're doomed to failure. And Cisco's 5 multi-cloud enablers around continuity, insight, security, and connectivity and operate will help you solve to that as we move forward. So in closing, team, Cisco is foundationally focused around making sure that we can deliver the best user experience to your employees and your customers. We're in a decade of delivering customer delight, not customer satisfaction. At the same time, we're going to make sure our strategy helps you be compliant and helps you be greener and more sustainable in terms of how you use technology and how you use your resources as an organization. And we're going to do all of that by making sure that we do not impact significantly the cost and time to value that you need to deliver. We know you need to be fast. We know you need to be agile. So to help do all of that, we have a 5-pronged strategy. Continuity around how we help you define the future of work for your employee. Insights around how we help you proactively make sure the performance of every application is a delightful one. Security around how we secure the 3 Ws of workplace, workforce, and workload. Fourthly, connectivity for any user to any application in any cloud. And finally, how you operate agnostically your applications and workloads in any environment, in any cloud, with any hyperscaler, or in any SaaS provider, or in any private data center. I want you to think about how you can work with Cisco to help evolve a strategy around continuity, insights, security, connectivity, and operate. Now, I tried to have a bit of a Scottish joke earlier on with you around how we don't like to spend money as a nation. I'm going to finish with a bit of Scottish humour as well, if you don't mind. I don't believe you can forget about our strategy around continuity, insight, security, connectivity, and operate. Because if you take the first letter of each of those words, CISCO, it spells one company. And that one company is your bridge to the possible of how Cisco can help you navigate effectively in this new world of cloud to help make sure ultimately you deliver the user experience that matters for your customers. Thank you for your time.